Hey, this is Pastor Jerry Main of Cathedral of Praise, and you've joined Soul Success. We got a hot topic with Rod Wright as my special guest. We're talking about the soft guy era. Now, I never even heard of this thing, and then I was talking to some women and some guys, and we were just having conversation, and they were like, yeah, we now have the soft guy era. And so I'm like, oh, what does that mean? So, Rod, we want to talk about it because we need to talk about relationships between black men and black women from a black man's perspective. We always hearing what women are talking about. Ain't no men out here, blah, 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 blah. I'm tired of hearing all that, man. I know men are out here. I'm out here. I'm a man, and I'm out here. So let me tell me there are no single men, there are no available men. Yes, they are, because I'm one of them. Our church has got all kind of single men in our church, and so quit playing. So what does soft guy era mean? And I know you've heard it before.
Well, it's a different time in society where women can afford their own house, they can afford their own car, they can pay bills. Especially the older you get, you got a college degree, you got everything you need. So now the guys who aren't going to college, who aren't really having successful careers, is like, you know what, I'm not gonna try too hard because I can't compete with the woman financially because I didn't take the proper steps earlier.
Okay.
So if I'm a good looking brother, see, every brother can't be in the soft guy era, but a good looking brother can start to demand just a little bit more than the average brother.
So a brother that's good in bed, he can be a soft guy.
I wouldn't, I'm a married man, so I don't know about the sexual aspect of this conversation. But what I'm saying is, looks, you have a little charisma about yourself. You can talk to a young lady, and a lady that, you know, has some means for herself can, you know, pay for you to get a drink. She could pay for you and your meal. You know, all this, he need to do X, Y, and Z. The soft guy era is more so, well, I'm gonna lay back. I'm gonna be soft and let you be, I guess in the opposite sense, hard. And in this world, it's paying for everything. I'm just lay back and let you pay for everything. I'm not gonna go out my way and bust my tail at a job, a 9-to-5 or entrepreneurial lifestyle. And my woman, you know, I'm gonna do whatever she need, but when it comes to the financial side of things, I'm just lay back and chill.
So I thought soft guy era meant that women now have to be more aggressive and be the aggressor and be the pursuer as opposed to what men, because see, men, I grew up, men had to be pursuers. We had to be the one who's aggressive. We had to ask you out. We had to say, hey, can I buy you a drink? Can I ask you out on a date? Can I get your phone number? I thought the soft guy era was like, now it's more of a 50-50. Women now have to be aggressive because a man has so much to choose from. If he's got a lot of women out here and he knows that there's a ratio of 7 women to every 1 guy, he doesn't have to be the aggressor.
Now, I just don't want you to get this confused.
Yeah.
When you say soft guy era, it's a certain type of guy. It's not every brother out there. So you have to at least, you know, look good and be doing something decent.
Okay.
You can't just be a slouch, a couch potato living in the basement of your mom's crib. Like, I'm a soft guy. Like, yeah, you might get Becky down the street, but you know, you're not gonna get a top tier quality woman. And we know, and in this lifestyle, I mean, in this lifetime, we've seen the difference that social media has played in our relationships in the Black community, because we allowed the loud ones, the entertainers, the actresses and singers and anybody else out there to get on camera and say, this is what I'm doing. Had the City Girls a few years ago. Talking about setting up brothers and breaking them down, taking all their money. And you know what? Brothers got tired of that.
Wow.
They get tired of the WYD just to come pay me. Like, no, brothers don't want to just give women all their money, all their hard-earned money. So the top tier brothers like, I'm taking a step back, chilling out. But this is why I just heard, you know, I don't know.
So that's the top. So you're saying that there's a top 1%, the 1%ers.
Yeah, I can do that.
They can be soft.
Yeah.
And we define soft as we don't have to be the aggressor. And we don't have to be the pursuer. We can be pursued.
I mean, look at Chris Brown. People pay him, women pay him $1,000 to take a picture with him.
What?
He's broken up relationships because somebody has spent their hard-earned money on Chris Brown to sit there and smile. And, you know, they do a lot. You should look them up online. But yeah, so Chris Brown is living in the soft guy era.
So, okay, I also want to look at this part. When women can be one, a breadwinner, number 2, they're raising a family, number 3, they got their career going, they got their business going, then what is our role in their life? And it seems to me that that I won't call a soft guy, but I think that sometimes men question what their role is. Now I know what I expect. My expectations is I'm the breadwinner, I'm the provider. You can also make money, but my woman doesn't have to spend her money. I feel like I should pay for every dinner. When we go on vacation, I should pay for that. I believe that the woman should be able to keep her money. I believe that she should be able to save and invest. I believe she should contribute to the household, but her contribution to the household is not the money. Her contribution to the household is nurturing, peace, wisdom, covering, making sure that she's looking at me, making sure she said, if my hair's not combed, hey, or my shoes not shine, or something's not right, she's saying, hey, let me look out for you. Let me make sure that I have my man's back, and make sure that when he goes out to that world to fight these dragons, that he's prepared, he feels good about himself and all of that. So I know my role. I am a provider. I am here to secure. I'm to make sure that you feel protected. And my job is to also to build you up so that you know that you're fine, you're beautiful, you're all that. So when you go into this world, can't nobody make you feel bad about yourself as a black woman. That's my role, I believe. Now, I understand other black men don't feel that way.
So the problem with what you just said is you're describing a relationship in the 1950s. You said, shine my shoes, make sure my hair is straight. Like, no, it's 2024 going to 2025 now. Women can take care of themselves. Hence the beginning of this conversation with Soft Guy Era. Like, women today, they don't have to do X, Y, and Z for a man anymore. And that's when it really changed. And it's a clip I saw on Instagram the other day where it was a gentleman trying to sell a dryer and a washing machine to a family. The setting is back in like 1930s, 1940s. So this family walks up, the guy's trying to sell him a washing machine. The gentleman's like, I'm gonna have to work for the rest of my life because if it breaks, I'm gonna have to buy a part. It's gonna take electricity. And we just find use the water from the well and the women, hanging them up. It was masterfully shot because the women in the scene were looking like, I need that washing machine.
Yeah.
So fast forward with the wars and everything, and women can work, women can own houses, women can have their own checking account, banking account. They really don't need a man. They can go to school, get an education, they can vote. They can do, equality is real today.
Yeah, equality is real, but they still need us. Women need men and men need women. Period, end of story. Listen, women, you need a man and a man needs a woman. And I don't want to get so biblical, but what the Bible says, his helpmate, he took his own rib, not an animal. He didn't use some other animal. He used his own rib, Adam's rib, to create the woman because Adam was not complete without his mate, without his soulmate. So I believe that women, even though you make money, and here, I'll deal with this, Rod. Mm-hmm. I've talked to so many women who are in their 40s, their late 30s, now in their 40s. They spent their entire building their business, their beauty shop, their career, becoming a doctor, a lawyer, whatever. And now they're at their 30s and they're like, okay, I've got the house, I got the car, I got this. What's missing is either I want a child, or I want to be married, or I want a significant life partner. And now it's like, I'm 38, I'm 40, and now the men that I would want to be with, all those who wanted to get married are already married. And then the men that they want to date, many of them are just not available now. And you're competing against 22-year-olds all the way to 50. Let me tell you something. Black women in their 50s are fine. They're taking care of their bodies. They're working out. So you're competing as a 38-year-old against the 22-year-old and the 52-year-old.
Yeah.
And so, but women need men.
Well, I want to back up to that point. I've been reading a book. I read it twice now. Audio book. I don't want to make it seem like I'm sitting there reading a book at night. But every time I'm driving, I'm listening to audio books. The Way of the Superior Man.
Superior Man.
Yeah, The Way of the Superior Man.
Okay.
Check it out. Fellas, check it out. A man has to be living in his purpose.
Yes.
Women, I know you just said men need women and good jazz. But for 2024 and moving forward, as of right now, how the society is set up, if a man isn't in his purpose, he doesn't need a woman around him at all, because all he's going to do is make that woman become angry. And he talks about this more in the book, well, in grave detail, but become angry, disappointed. They're going to have a lot of arguments. And it's not because it's something wrong with the relationship, it's a black family or anything. It's because he's not living in his purpose. And in this book, he explains why it's important for a man to live in his purpose and how a woman will get on his side and make his life a lot easier once he finds his purpose. Now, one of the examples he uses is, say you're with your wife or girlfriend, whoever, and you tell her, I'm going to clean up the garage at 10 o'clock on Wednesday. 2 weeks go by, you clean up the garage on 8 o'clock Thursday night, 2 weeks later. Hey, babe, I just cleaned up the garage. She's mad at you. To you, it might seem like it's something simple. Oh, I cleaned up the garage, but why is she still mad? Because you're not living in your purpose. You said you're going to clean it up Wednesday at 10 o'clock, and here it is 2 weeks later, and you want me to give you a pat on the back. She's the one that holds you accountable and things of that nature. So that's why I said, if a man isn't really like understanding his role in the world, a woman is going to be a detriment to him. And we're seeing that right now with a lot of relationships because men are trying to redefine themselves, even with the term soft guy era, because women have taken a role in tech and different businesses and nursing and healthcare and all these other places where it's like men aren't looked at as heroes building bricks anymore, black men, because the Latino brothers are coming over and do it.
Construction and all that kind of stuff.
So we just need to find, as a community, our purpose and what we want to do. And then you'll find a woman, because you're not out there looking for 20 women to be with. You're looking for one woman.
Right.
So I don't care if I was a single person, or even with my marriage. I wouldn't care what anybody else said. Like, I just want to make sure I'm focused on my purpose. And then my wife, she's going to come in and help me when needed.
So I had a woman tell me this story. She said, what am I supposed to do? Wait on the man to find me? Or should I get out here and start living? And I was like, wow, that's a great point. So I've heard women tell me, I'm not going to sit here and just wait and not do anything and stay in the house and not live my best life. That's why we're traveling. That's why we're doing all these other things, which is an interesting point. I am single, and I do know that in the singleness, I think it's good when a woman sees somebody she likes and attracted to and lets them know. I don't think there's anything wrong with a woman letting a man know that I find you attractive, or that I like you, or ask the man out. I think that is good. I think that however you break the ice is fantastic. I don't think women should be waiting. I don't think they should be waiting. Now, if that's part of the soft guy era, I think the women should be aggressive and say, hey, I will let you know I find you attractive and I like you. I like your style. I like your jazz. I like the way you speak, whatever. And so I think that. Now, some women I talk to, they're not about that at all. They feel that that is not the way relationships should begin, by the woman saying to the man or pursuing the man. And they feel like they're really saying, I'm waiting to be found.
But we told, especially young women, when they were girls, you can do anything or be anything. So what you're saying is great, but the problem is they're all gonna go up to the same 1% Chris Brown looking brother, or the 6'4" basketball player, or the business owner down the street that's a coffee shop, but he's nice and buff and looks good, good hair. They're all gonna go up to that brother. What about the brothers driving the bus? What about the brothers doing security? That's where the connection is lost right there, because they want Jerry, or they want Rod, or they want these other brothers out here. That's what you can't. We only belong to one woman at a time. You can't have all of it. It's so hard talking like this, and I'm like married. So I'm trying to like not be like I'm outside type of vibe. But no,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Can I tell you I agree with you?
Yeah.
I told a friend of mine, my ex-girlfriend, I said, one of the challenges that women have is that those 20 women are all attracted to that same one guy. There's that 1% of guys who all the women are attracted to. And they ignore all these others because they've been programmed to think that the bus driver is not suitable.
Correct.
Okay? The other issue that we got to do, let's deal with this. Some women have a problem when they make more money than the guy that they're with.
Because the guy isn't living in his purpose.
He's living in his purpose, but you don't, as a teacher, let's say that you're a school teacher and you're making $60,000 a year, but now the woman is making $120,000 a year. My deal is that why is that an issue for her that she makes more money than him? And what I've been told by women is they got to make sure that if everything goes wrong in their career, the man can still provide, still sustain, still secure, still protect. And so you get concerned. This is what women told me. They get concerned if they're making way more money than their spouse or way more money than the partner, because now they don't have the security of knowing that if something goes wrong, or if I take time off, or if I quit my job, that you can provide and protect and provide security and sustainability for the family.
Well, it depends on when they get married. So if they got married, or want to get married in their 30s or 40s, that's a different conversation than somebody younger.
Okay.
Because when you're in your 20s, you don't know where your life is going to take you.
That's correct. That's correct.
So let's take it for the older generation. Then they shouldn't be together. Because guess what? A man that's making $25,000 a year can take care of a woman.
Right.
If she had nothing. I mean, you're not living a lavish lifestyle. You're not going out to Ruth Chris every night.
Right.
But you won't die. You're going to have shelter. You can find housing with $25,000. Even in Nashville, it might not be the best. It might be a 1-bedroom or studio somewhere. But you guys can survive life until he figures out, you figure out, to get to a certain point. But people just look at doomsday like it's the worst day. And really, that's why I don't even like talking about the terms of love anymore. Because when I'm out smoking my hookah, people come up to me, oh, love and X, Y, and Z. I just think it's a fake term. Why? Because in order to really experience love, you got to go through hell. And people don't want to go through hell. So how can you ever go through love? How can you want to be married if you ain't about to argue? If you, I love and we're going to cuddle, then you, at the same breath, you got to be ready to argue and be mad. And people don't want to ever do that. So it's a crazy life. And this is where I stay consistent, where we need to get back to community and family, and not the people we don't know. The people that know your birthday, that's who you need to be talking to, getting advice from. The people who's on Instagram that just have a funny story or it seems relatable, all these guys ain't nothing. You shouldn't even listen to these people.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem with our society right now, that maybe conversations like this and having, generational conversations can start to make a change, a transition over, so we can see, at least here in Nashville, Tennessee, better communities, and you don't see those same conversations.
I want to talk about the point that you said, that when you're younger, we don't know where we're going to be. One of the things I want to teach men and women, not to lecture, but where life is about seasons. There is a time where a woman is in a season where she does not want to be in a committed relationship. And you find yourself in a season that you want one. It's not that she is not, good woman, great woman. It's just in that season in her life, she's not looking to be in a committed relationship. So you move on. Same thing is true with a woman. You may date the guy and he will never commit. And then later on, you're like, oh, he got married. Because in that season, he was ready to get married. We've got to find each other in the right season, when those two seasons can merge together. We're equally yoked. We believe in the same thing, and it's the right timing. Seasons is about the seeds that you sow and then the harvest that you reap. There's a time to sow and there's a time to reap. And so when you find somebody in their sowing season and you're trying to reap, you've got the wrong situation. It won't work. Am I right? And so at the same time, the same is true, is that if you're in your harvest season and they're in their sowing season, it ain't gonna work. You gotta find the person that, okay, we're both in our sowing or we're both in our reaping. And so the season in our life is very, very important. And we know, as we close this out, I want to thank Rod Wright for joining me on today. We wanted to have a multi-generational, intergenerational conversation, because I do know that I have a role to play in providing wisdom and to learn from the generations that stay authentically connected. And I understand that in this role that I have a tremendous divine purpose for the upliftment of my community. And if I don't connect and engage and have conversations, there's no way I can serve that purpose. If I stay in my little silo and act like I know everything, and all I do is lecture y'all and blah, 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 and y'all ain't nothing, and this generation is so-and-so, I've lost. So it's important that we communicate. It's important we engage. That's why we have Soul Success. I hope you got something out of it. Go and check out our whole 4 series on this multi-generational, intergenerational conversation And we understand. I'm going to bring a woman over next for our next series so we can get a woman's perspective. But I thank God that you joined us for Soul Success. Be blessed.